Hi, my name is Alexander. Some marriages die quietly. Others die the moment one sentence hits the room and never leaves. My wife once told me, do what I ask, and then you get me. And I replied, I don't play for rewards. That was the moment everything changed. Not with yelling, not with plates flying, just a look. A slow, calm, terrifying look that said, we'll see who gives in first. I thought it was just pride, just emotions. Two people misunderstanding each other. No, that was a bargain. A transaction disguised as love. Her affection, suddenly a courtesy, and I realized something brutal. I wasn't living with a partner. I was living with someone who believed affection equals power, warmth equals leverage, intimacy equals obedience. At first, I stayed silent, observed, watched every shift in her tone, every pause, every well-timed sigh. She was soft when she wanted control, distant when she expected surrender, perfect when it suited her strategy. And her eyes, always calculating, studying me, measuring loyalty like a stock price. No fights, no drama, just psychological chess played across quiet rooms and cold sheets. People think the deadliest battles are loud. They're wrong. The most dangerous war is waged with silence, withholding, expectation, and a smile that means you owe me. From that moment on, we weren't a couple. We were competitors, and love turned into a weapon neither of us admitted we were using. This is how control feels. Not violent, not dramatic, just slow, elegant destruction. And trust me, once you see someone's love as a test, you can't ever unsee it again. You want to know when the game truly started, not when she made the bargain, not when I refused. It started the next morning. The house was quiet, the kind of quiet that feels intentional, like the walls were waiting. She made coffee, not for two, just one, placed her cup on the table with slow elegance, didn't even look at me. That silence was not absence. It was a statement. I'm what you want. I sat across from her. She scrolled through her phone. Perfect posture, perfect calm, the kind of calm only someone holding a weapon feels. You learn something real about a person when they think you need them more than they need you. She didn't say good morning. She didn't have to. The message was louder than words. Your turn to react. I didn't. I breathed, steady and cold. A quiet defiance. Her eyebrow twitched, tiny, but real. She didn't like that. Control hates neutrality. Power hates stillness. That day she touched me differently. Not lovingly, but like she was checking if the strings were still attached. A hand on my shoulder. Too light, too brief. A test, not affection. When she passed me in the hallway, her perfume lingered, sharp, deliberate, provocative. Not seduction. Punishment disguised as allure. And then the first strike. She laughed at her phone, loud, bright, a laugh meant for an audience. Me, I asked, calmly, what's funny? She didn't look up, didn't blink. Just said, someone who actually listens, not a knife. A needle, sharp, targeted, almost invisible. Pain disguised as coincidence. A casual cruelty with perfect precision. I nodded, slow, controlled. Good, I said. You deserve someone who suits your methods. And her lips parted. Just a little shock, annoyance, fear. Hard to tell. That's the thing with power plays. No one wants to lose control first. No one admits they're keeping score. But I saw it then, a flicker in her eyes, doubt, insecurity, the first crack in her mask. She expected resistance that begged. She got resistance that observed. And that is more terrifying. We didn't fight. We didn't yell. We sat across from each other like two countries pretending to be at peace, while artillery quietly lines the border. Love wasn't gone. That would be easy. Love was there, twisted, silent, waiting to be weaponized. That was day one. The soft beginning of a quiet war. And here's the truth most people never admit. Sometimes the most dangerous battles are the ones fought without raising your voice. Because once love turns into strategy, you're not trying to win someone's heart. You're trying to break their certainty. And breaking certainty is always personal. Data felt colder. Not the house. Us. Some relationships end with shouting. Ours tightened like a piano wire. Silent tension, ready to snap. She started with subtle moves, a closed laptop when I walked in, a quick lock sound on her phone, a pause before answering me, not long enough to accuse, long enough to feel power by timing, control by delay. She wasn't punishing me. She was training me. Every time I spoke, her attention took a second to arrive. Just 1 second. But 1 second repeated becomes courtesy. She asked questions with no interest in answers. Busy today. Working on something important. Her tone implied my work meant nothing. And indifference cuts deeper than insult. That evening, she sat on the sofa, legs folded elegantly, scrolling. I poured myself whiskey. The glass felt heavier than usual. Finally, she said, without looking up, "Do you ever wonder if you could have done better?" A normal spouse might laugh. A normal marriage might survive the question. But here, context was a knife. Delivered softly, tilted just right, I answered, calm, measured. Only when someone tries to turn love into a wage. She froze. Did not move. Did not breathe. Her eyes stayed on her phone, but I felt the hit land. She set her device down very gently, like force would betray emotion. Then she walked past me, perfume cold as winter light, and whispered, "Men always think they're the prize." I didn't follow. I didn't ask. I simply watched the door close and thought, this is not about love anymore. This is about ownership. And neither of us wanted to be the thing owned. That night, she did not come to bed. No explanation. No conversation. She stayed in the guest room, sheets untouched, pillows arranged with surgical symmetry, a message, not a distance. I lay there listening to silence, thinking how strange it is. Warm bodies can feel colder than empty space. When dawn came, she appeared in the doorway, hair perfectly brushed, expression calm, weapon disguised as a woman. "I hope you slept well," she said. Sweet tone. Hollow eyes. I answered, "I sleep well when I am not negotiating for affection." She smiled, slow, measured, deadly. "You will," she said. "As long as you remember you're not the dictator here." I looked at her the way a surgeon looks at a tumor, clinical, detached, predicting damage. "No," I replied. "I don't dictate." I refused to beg. A small tremor crossed her lips. She would rather I shouted. She would rather I broke. Silent defiance is harder to conquer. And she knew it. That morning, our relationship changed phase. It stopped being a struggle. It became a contest. 2 minds. 2 egos. No retreat. No surrender. Not yet. Asterisk. Power games rarely explode. They corrode. Slow, precise, like acid dripping on steel. She started small. Nothing dramatic. Just shifts. Coffee cups left dirty when she always cleaned them. Doors closed a little too quietly. A text tone she didn't silence, just loud enough for me to hear. Her screen flashing, face lighting up, and her hand turning the phone away from me. Casual, natural, practiced. Every move said, someone else has access to parts of me you don't. It didn't matter if it was true. In psychological war, truth is optional. Perception is the weapon. I found her perfume sprayed in the hallway. Not her usual scent. A different one. New, an announcement without words. Someone is noticing how I smell. I did not accuse. Accusations empowered the enemy. Instead, I existed like ice, present, sharp, unmelting. At dinner she asked, "Are you ever afraid of losing me?" I cut my steak, slow, deliberate. "No," I said. "I don't lose what chooses to walk away." Her fork paused midair. She swallowed hard. Her throat worked like swallowing. Pride hurt more than swallowing food. Control shifted an inch. Just an inch. But wars turn on inches. She stood, walked behind me, finger traced my shoulder. "Cold electricity. You'll regret not fighting for me," she whispered. I answered, calm, unbroken. "You confuse love with ownership." Her breath hitched, soft, immediate. Like a wire snapped somewhere inside her. She left the room. No footsteps, only silence trailing behind her like smoke. That night I barely slept. Not from fear, from awareness. Every creak of the floor, every whisper of fabric, every movement behind the walls, my mind tagged it, tracked it, filed it. Hyper-vigilance disguised as stillness. At 3:14 a.m., I heard her door open. Slow hinge, careful steps. For a moment I thought she came to reconcile, to soften, to try love again instead of power. But she did not enter the room. She stood in the hallway, breathing, waiting, watching the darkness like she expected it to answer her. I didn't move, didn't speak. Just listen to the sound of someone realizing they don't control the temperature anymore, and the cold can bite back. Eventually she walked away. Click, door shut. Sleep never came. Only thoughts. Sharp, unkind, circling like wolves. When morning arrived, she sat at the table reading, serene, untouched. Danger in silk skin. "Did you sleep well?" she asked. "I rest in truth," I answered. She smiled. No warmth in it. Just calculation disguised as sweetness truth, she said softly. That depends on who writes the story. She looked at me with eyes that promised a challenge deeper than pride and darker than marriage, and for the first time, I wasn't sure if I wanted to win or simply survive, because this wasn't love anymore. It was strategy wearing a wedding ring, and once affection becomes ammunition, there's only one rule left. Don't blink first. There's a stage in quiet war where the mind becomes a mirror hall. Every reflection feels slightly off. Every silence holds teeth. This is where we arrived. Not suddenly, just inevitably, she shifted tactics. Power through absence had limits. Now she tried power through warmth. Weapons change. Strategy DOSN single quotes T. Morning, she placed a coffee cup by my hand. Not mine, her cup, her spoon, her choice of sugar, a peace offering, a trap, or simply a reminder that even kindness could be rationed. She sat across from me, eyes soft, voice low. I don't want us to fight. A gentle tone hits harder than a scream when you don't trust its purpose. I looked at her. Calm face, soft lips, but her hands, fingers tapping, barely moving, tension leaking through skin. What do you want? I asked. She hesitated. Only a fraction of a second. Almost invisible. Control hates hesitation. To feel chosen, she whispered, 3 words designed like a snare. Emotional gravity, pulling, inviting, demanding surrender disguised as vulnerability. I didn't move, didn't reach, didn't soothe. I only said, I don't prove love on command. Her breath trembled. Not pain, frustration. A queen discovering her crown doesn't command the throne, she assumed. She stood and walked to me, slow, careful. Her fingers slid to my neck. Light as silk, warm as breath on glass. I miss you, she murmured. A phrase that could rebuild a life, if it were real. For a moment, my resolve flickered. Memory tried to resurrect softness. Her perfume, her warmth, years of mornings, shared pillows, inside jokes whispered in dark rooms, a flash, us laughing on a balcony in Spain, sun melting gold across her shoulders, her hand in mine like it belonged there. Memory lies like a lover trying to win you back. I inhaled, steady, controlled, refused nostalgia's mercy. You don't miss me, I said quietly. You miss winning. Her touch froze, then withdrew. No anger, no words, just a stillness so sharp the room felt like glass. Then she smiled, a soft, terrifying smile that belonged to someone who decided to change tactics. Not lose. Maybe you're right, she whispered. Maybe I don't miss you. Maybe I miss the version of you that tried. Her voice was silk. Her meaning was blade. She walked away, leaving perfume hanging in the doorway like a ghost that refused to leave. And for the first time, I wasn't sure if she was lying to me or if I was lying to myself. Because in that second after she walked out, in the quiet, in the hollow she left in the air, I felt something inside me tremble. A thought I did not want to acknowledge. What if I am not the one holding the ground? What if I am the one being maneuvered? Doubt is not loud. It whispers, soft, persistent, like breath behind your ear in an empty room. And once doubt enters, nothing looks the same. Not her, not me, not love, especially not the truth. Doubt is a virus, silent, small at first. Then everywhere. Soon every room felt watched. Every shadow felt intentional. Every silence felt sharpened, not because she threatened me, but because she didn't need to. Manipulation isn't loud. It's atmosphere. She moved through the house like someone rehearsing grace, smiling when she passed me, touching my arm lightly, as if tenderness could erase motive. But softness after warfare is not peace. It's strategy. She wore dresses she hadn't touched in years, red silk, fitted danger disguised as elegance. Perfume lingered before she entered rooms. Music played softly, old love songs we used to laugh about. The environment changed. She changed it. Not to heal, to confuse. Even the warmth felt cold. That evening she lit candles, set the table, cooked something expensive. Wine breathing in crystal. Romantic on the surface, calculated underneath. She sat across from me, lips red like sign, eyes warm like she remembered loving me. I want us whole again, she murmured. A beautiful sentence. A poisoned one, because if she wanted peace, she would have called it peace. Instead she called it whole, as if I was the missing half. What changed? I asked. She touched her wine glass. Didn't drink, just traced the rim. You made me feel replaceable, she said softly. I studied her face. The sadness in her eyes looked real, too real. So real I wondered if I imagined the war in the first place. That's the trick. The scariest manipulation isn't anger. It's tenderness that makes you question your truth. I felt the ground tilt beneath my certainty. Was I cold? Unyielding? Did I break something by refusing to break first? She reached across the table, took my hand, warm, soft, human. I don't want to fight with you, she whispered. I want to feel chosen again. Her voice cracked, almost imperceptible, but it cracked. I should have felt victory. I didn't. I felt hunted by possibilities. What if she meant it? What if I was cruel? What if she was never the threat, and I was the wall she crashed against? War blurs morality. Resistance can look like cruelty if you stare long enough. My chest tightened. Not fear, not love, confusion. Real confusion. The dangerous kind. For a moment I wanted to lean forward, hold her, believe her, fall back into the illusion of safety. But illusions don't save you. They drown you softly. So I looked into her eyes and said nothing. She held my hand another second, then let go, slow, graceful, fatal. She smiled faintly, almost sad, almost proud. Then she whispered, "You will lose me if you keep trying to win," and she stood up, walked away, bare feet, silent on polished wood, leaving the candles burning, wine untouched, and me sitting in a room suddenly too quiet to trust. I stared at the table long after she left, not because I missed her company, but because I wasn't sure who was shifting first, her reality or mine. When love becomes strategy, clarity becomes casualty, and I couldn't tell if she was playing with me, or if the game was inside my own head. I woke up the next morning feeling strangely calm, not angry, not hurt, just done. She came into the kitchen rubbing her eyes, acting like nothing happened. "Morning," she said, voice soft, sweet even. I nodded. No kiss, no small talk. I poured myself coffee and scrolled on my phone like she wasn't even there. She frowned. "You okay?" "I'm good," I said, just thinking about my life, about peace, about being alone, if that's what respect costs. She sat down across from me, waiting for me to start the usual routine, the jokes, the questions, the emotional effort. I gave her nothing. Minutes passed. "So," she tried again, "what are you thinking about?" "How I'm about to live exactly the way you want to live." "What does that mean?" "You said you don't owe me anything." So I realized something. I don't owe anything either. Not effort, not loyalty, not love. Her face dropped like she swallowed a stone. "That's not what I meant." "No, it's exactly what you meant. But don't worry. I'm not mad." I finished my coffee. "I'm adapting." I grabbed my keys and walked out. No explanation, no plan, just space. Outside, the air felt clean, like I was breathing for the first time in months. I wasn't out to hurt her. I just finally let reality reset itself. If love isn't mutual, it's not love. It's labor, and I was done working for free. I didn't text her. I didn't call. Hours passed. Then evening. I expected maybe a "where are you?" or "come home," nothing. But when I finally got back, she was pacing the living room, eyes red, hands shaking. "Why didn't you tell me where you were?" "You don't owe me updates," I said. "So I don't owe you mine." Her jaw trembled. She opened her mouth, closed it, tried again. "That isn't fair." "You're right," I said. "One-way relationships never are." She stepped toward me like she wanted to touch me, but wasn't sure she deserved to. "Can we talk?" "I'm listening." She swallowed hard. "I didn't mean it like that. I was just angry. I didn't want you to feel like you could control me. I never wanted control. I wanted partnership." Silence. Heavy, real. For the first time, she looked scared. Not of losing a fight, of losing me. She stood there, eyes searching my face like she was trying to read a language she never bothered to learn before. "Can we fix this?" she whispered. I didn't rush to answer. She was used to me jumping to reassure her, used to instant comfort, used to my love being automatic. Now she had to wait. Finally, I said, "That depends. Do you want a relationship or a roommate?" She flinched. Truth hits harder than anger ever could. "I want us," she said quickly, almost desperate. "But I don't want to feel controlled. I don't want to feel like I owe anything." "You don't," I said. "Love isn't debt, but it's not a free ride either." She sat on the edge of the couch, like her legs gave up. Her voice barely came out. "I didn't know I was hurting you. That's the problem. You didn't think you needed to know." Her lips trembled. She looked smaller, not physically, emotionally, Like ego drained out and reality moved in. I thought being independent meant not needing anyone, she whispered. It means choosing someone, I said. Not avoiding responsibility. Silence again. But this time, it wasn't cold. It was heavy with realization. She looked up. I miss you, I'm right here. No, she shook her head, eyes watering. You're not. For once, she felt what distance really meant. Not threats. Not manipulation. Just space she created and I stepped into. She reached out slowly, fingers brushing mine. Tell me how to fix this. I looked at her hand on mine, warm, scared, human. You start by understanding this. Love isn't owed, but it is earned. Every day. She nodded like she finally heard the thing I'd been saying in ways softer than this moment. I'll try, she said. Trying is a start, I replied. Consistency is the finish.